Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Braving It, a father, a daughter, and an unforgettable journey into the Alaskan wild. By James Campbell. Narrated by Roger Wayne. And yet, there is only one great thing, the only thing, to live to see the great day that dawns, and the light that fills the world. Ancient Inuit Song. There are only two lasting bequests we can hope to give our children. One of these is roots, the other, wings. Hodding Quarter, where Main Street meets the river. Prologue. My daughter Aiden hadn't yet entered kindergarten when I made a series of trips to the Alaskan Arctic, while researching and writing my first book. She loved my stories, and as she listened, she said that when she was a big girl she hoped to join me in Alaska. I told her that yes, one day we would go together. She accepted this answer until her freshman year in high school, when she began to remind me of my promise on what seemed like a weekly basis. The more I thought about it, the more it seemed like the right time to take her on an Alaskan adventure, or perhaps a series of adventures. In traditional Eskimo cultures, although gender roles were well defined, adolescent girls would sometimes accompany their fathers on extensive hunting and trapping trips, while boys stayed behind in the village. The idea was that it was important for boys and girls to switch roles in order to acquire the other's life skills. Boys would learn to sew, tan, weave, and cook, and girls would learn how to hunt, survive in the wilderness, and make tools and weapons. I believed that, at 15, Aiden was ready for a similar experience. She would be old enough to appreciate it, and responsible enough to carry her own weight. Perhaps, too, her encounter with wilderness would evoke the same feelings of wonder it had in me. From John Muir and Aldo Leopold, fellow Wisconsinites, to Rachel Carson, Annie Dillard, and Wendell Berry, literature teems with musings on the power of nature. Leopold memorably called it meat from God. Edward Abbey called wilderness a necessity of the human spirit. Henry David Thoreau's saying, "In wildness is the preservation of the world," makes the bold claim not that we must save wildness, but that wildness has the potential to save us. In preparation for our adventure, I asked Aiden to read Wallace Stegner's Wilderness Letter. In it, Stegner writes about wild country as a part of the geography of hope. I'd always loved that line, the geography of hope. But in regarding the letter before passing it on to Aiden, I was drawn to another phrase, the birth of awe. Yes, I thought.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?